You don't shave for a week.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's. I don't. I mean, I don't think you can though. I don't think you can because if you could, more people would do it. You know. I mean, I don't know, but there's like this history of like gay dudes, like Chris Hedgeworth or like Captain America and Thor and all of the big Marvel guys are actually like gay, but they're super closeted. Like they have girlfriends and like it's all part of the kind of Hollywood like crazy. We talked about all that.
You can see your sandwich maker in the back. So I'm just gonna move
my Austrian sandwich maker. I'm actually in love with that thing. Okay.
What? You have a... What do you mean a sandwich maker?
So you put the
You might love it more.
Oh, I thought she was referring to herself quirkily, in like a quirky manner.
No, this is 2023.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
What is that? So what do you do?
English muffin, a little bit of cheese, a meat, and then an egg.
My wife would love that.
Yeah, they're cheap too. I gotta deal with them. All right, are we ready to start? Are you recording now? Are we recording now? Have you been recording a little bit?
Is this thing gone?
Man, let me take the dog away. Make sure it hasn't fallen.
No, doggy. Old doggy.
She's actually only almost 4. She just has gone gray early.
Yeah, why are you... Oh, baby. Look at that. Hi.
Your phone isn't awkward.
Yeah, it's like, I can tell it's at a weird angle.
It's okay though.
You can don't stomp. Just no stomping. We should be.
No stomping.
Yeah, definitely don't stomp. Unless you're in the band or group or whatever then you can.
I think they're still doing that.
I think they are.
Stomp. Oh, yeah, that was a thing. You banged on trash.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they did. I myself did. I mean, I have done it, but not for any money.
4-year-old does.
There you go.
Sure,
There you go. Maybe that's it. Maybe you should.
Yeah.
I guess you can fix it later. That's pretty good. Okay.
So good? What do you mean I can't fix it later? All right, let's just start this.
Hang on.
All right. Oh, so much.
Hang on.
No problem. Well, my dog just makes the most. She does that in the middle of the night too. You know that?
Tap tap
There you
tap
go.
Yeah.
tap 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 tap. Oh,
Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? Okay. Alicia, are you ready? And life emerges. We have it. We are recording now. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, fans, haters, lovers, and strangers. It's another episode of Hard Talks with Adam Zed. My guest today. We just came up with a name, so this is how new this
Hard
is.
Talks?
Hard Talks. I wanted something that
Okay.
Hard Talks.
Hard talks.
Hard Talks. Yeah, I wanted something that felt like tough, but like also got the point across of what we do here.
I'm hard already.
Yeah,
I'm hard already.
Good. I looked it up. I wanted to check if it was taken before.
Was it?
No, but it did take us to a lot of porn stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a syllable away.
We got taken to I got taken to a porn Pornhub had something about it, but I once accidentally ended up on Pornhub.
Accidentally?
Yeah, it was an accounting thing or something. I put it, yeah, right.
Keeps happening.
Yeah, and people were just posting like normal like Call of Duty playing videos to like advertise their like streams and stuff.
You could like see the person in there, like was there a chick with boobs?
No, it was just a dude playing advertising his Call of Duty. I was like, how did this get on here? You can pretty much upload. I don't think they have as well. Obviously, their censorship is kind of off kilter, but
yeah,
they
you can get.
You can post if you post it on there for a little while. You can have your video on Pornhub, and maybe if you put in the wrong titles.
Okay.
Or something like that. Hardcore, shooting.
Yeah.
Maybe. So.
Well, no, like it would be like a sex title, but it'd be like something that's like actually happening, like like somebody getting railed, and it's just the guy playing with trains or something.
There you go. That's like a good April Fool's story. So okay, let me introduce you. What is your name, sir? Introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is Lucian. Hello.
Lucian, just no last name.
Oh, Tudor. Lucian Tudor.
There you go.
My address is.
No, yeah, right. Where are you from?
I am originally from Romania.
Romania. And what brought you to Canada?
My parents.
There you go. So you weren't stuck in some sort of like double drawers, like some sort of like furniture? No.
No, the way they usually come when they want to come illegally, they'll go in a sea can.
Yeah.
And you just drink your own piss for 2 weeks, and then you're a Canadian citizen.
That's
how we got all these nice strippers.
They all came.
How old are you?
Right now, 36.
Okay, you might both me and you are a little younger, but older guys told us that like in the 90s there was a tsunami wave of like Romanian strippers. Like they came all, and my buddy, best friend's dad, he came on a sea can with a bunch of them.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Pretty
I
cool.
I would hate it. That sounds awesome that they got here and hopefully they were all okay. I would not want to be for 2 weeks with a bunch of women and especially strippers, knowing that they know that you don't have no money. You're in there with them. Right?
Yeah.
Like they're not idolizing you in any sort of way.
Any sort of way. Like there is no game to be had.
No.
Yeah, you know who it sucks more for? Ugly Canadian strippers. They had to get jobs.
I think they may. Well, now there's OnlyFans. Now they don't have to get jobs. Now they've got their own businesses. But hopefully.
Yeah, you can have nobody watch you over there.
Yeah. I think they changed the laws a little bit about that. I think right after the 90s, when the tide of Romanian strippers entered Canada, I think they made a law that said that you couldn't come here just for that, to just be a stripper.
Just be a stripper. Good news, my cousin Bogdan. You don't have to practice anymore.
That must have been so crazy to just be a whole wave of Eastern European strippers coming into Canada, just overwhelming the
flooding the market.
Yeah, it must have been so cheap. Like a lap dance back then must have just been like dirt cheap. The prices.
Yeah, we pay them bottle caps. They don't know.
You shoot them off. Boo boo.
Hey. Yeah, they devalued pussy for like a whole decade. They had to raise interest rates. It was crazy.
Life is nuts. European problems coming to Canada.
Yeah.
So you were born in Romania, how long did you live there till?
Till 97. I was 14, and then we came here 97. September 11, 1997.
Oh, there we go.
Our 5th anniversary was very awkward. We were like, I don't know, it was weird. Yeah, but we came here, the best day of my life.
Yeah.
September 11th.
With
1997.
It was an odd day. It was an odd day for sure. It was that'd be rough celebrating your 5-year. That'd be rough. Every single anniversary would be
the good part was that you could take the day off from school from grief.
Of course.
Yeah, smoking weed or whatever.
Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do.
I just moved to the States, and that was the summer I moved. I moved to the States in like June, and then I got to school, and like the first couple of days of school, boom, terrorist attacks.
Yeah.
We hate foreigners, and I'm just like,
don't get a tan.
I kept my creamy white skin as best I could in the hot Arizona sun.
Oh yeah. It's like, look, I'm just like the rest of you. A lot of dudes had to pretend to be Mexican then. It was tough.
It was a rough time. So you came. So what? But you okay? The reason I had you be on today is because we were talking outside. I met you doing stand-up comedy. If you have the pleasure of seeing Lucian perform live, take that advantage because it'll be fantastic.
Yeah. I have a 50% hit rate, which is good. Like half the time I want to kill myself. Half the time I don't. It's good.
And I mean that's healthy for a man. That's probably pretty healthy. I think 25% is what most people are running with. So that's pretty good.
Well, I'm married with children, not with I have children. and a woman that gave birth to them that I'm married to.
That's good.
Yeah.
Are you? It sounds like you're talking yourself into it. So how did you? So how long have you been married for?
5 years.
And you have how many children?
2.
There you go. Is that done for you? Or are you done with the child train?
Not from a lack of trying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. And
She's probably done too. Depends, because my wife doesn't like having a job, so like it's a good excuse.
yeah.
Like she'll get pregnant to stay home a few years. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not bad,
That's not bad.
right? If you
Can I get pregnant?
yes, the answer
Apparently,
is
yes. Nowadays,
Yes,
yes.
the answer is yes. It's a horrible surgery that's gonna cost tax dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I'm sure we could do.
Why is milk $8? No idea.
It's because they're milking them from the wrong cows.
Yeah. So I came here in '97.
Yeah,
That
with your family,
with my family.
and just your immediate parents, just your
Yeah,
mom and
me,
dad?
my mom and dad, and my sister.
Oh, there you go.
My sister.
My
Yeah.
sister. And so did they? And your dad was a what? Software engineer or
Like engineer that became a truck driver. My mom was a dentist that
yeah.
became a daycare person.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Because it
you
doesn't cross over. They're like
No, teeth in Canada way different. You know, it's yeah.
Well, they're nice and
I know.
strong, right? I assume in Romania they just take them out. I guess that would just be.
Nah, it's weird. There's a little bit of like trivia. Like they had to be even better dentists because the tools they had were that much more primitive. You know, so you had to be like really good about your craftsman, let's say. And my mom never gave me anesthetic because the one that they had was very dangerous. It was only for like big sized people. So she. Have you ever had a root canal with no, like, anesthetic? Yeah. And then I got sent to school for the rest of the day. It's like, okay. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that was, like, my childhood. My mom occupies a very big psychological, terrifying space. But yeah.
Because she held you down and gave you a root canal without anesthetic, and that
it was dangerous. That's why.
Was it in your house?
No, she had an office.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was my like in a Romanian village, and it's like whenever I was like, come, she'd always trick me.
Yeah.
Like, come for a visit. I need you to take something. Oh, can you just pop on for a second? And followed by like 45 minutes of, what if you're in Guantanamo Bay and they really, really need to find Bin Laden? Like.
That's intense. That's pretty intense. Having I have horrible teeth, so I've had tons and tons of dental work done.
They
So
look great.
Yeah. I got a little bit of a snaggle tooth, kind of in the front there.
That's all right.
Yeah. How are your teeth? Are they been fine? Or did
Yeah,
you
they're
fix
good.
them?
They're like still in my face, like right here.
You have most of them.
Most of them, and I just went to the dentist today, and it was all right. Just to have like an Asian woman breathe in your mouth, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I played Russian roulette with that one.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah, I found that I've had a bunch of dental work done. I just got kind of my union medical thing going, so I got a bunch of dental work done. So it was kind of like
what union are you?
I'm in the IATSE and ACFC. So
what do you do?
The
like
film union.
Do you do acting?
I do acting, but I didn't act enough to get into that union, so maybe. But I do.
You're a grip boy.
I'm a grip, and I do electrics. So I work in lighting in film right now.
Ah, nice.
So
I'm an electrician as well.
It seems like everyone I meet is an electrician.
So you.
Is it super
trade.
easy?
It's okay. Like
dummies
dummies pass it.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
some dummies pass it, and it's like it's.
But like dummies, like how they're dummies that are mechanics, but they can take apart a car in like 2 seconds, but they can't, shower properly. But they
Shower.
Well, you know what I mean, like right, like they have
Yeah.
like really like kind of crazy. Yeah. So is that what you do for work?
I maintain slaughterhouses for a living. I'm an electrician, and I feed the world just like Jesus.
I mean,
Yeah.
I forget what
I'm
part of the
Jesus.
Bible he was
But
in
the
there
bread and the
helping-
fish. Yeah, when he made it, like he took one bread and one fish and made it many bread and
And
many
he,
fish.
and he looked at the children and went, "Please clean these and don't tell anybody. Please clean up." How many children do you see cleaning, mopping up the blood? Did you hear about that? That in the Midwest, a bunch of
Oh yeah.
slaughterhouses got busted because they were using like 100 kids, and there were 15-year-olds and 14-year-olds. I was like, that is.
Have you seen the tolerances between those parts? Like, you need to go even younger to get your little fingers in there to clean it. It's like those guys work hard.
Oh yeah, no
Like,
doubt.
you're telling kids they can't make money. You know, it's like, well, what's left to them? You know, like.
I mean, there are
For
other
the
ways
church?
for children to make money. Yeah, well, respect for it. But I just thought it was nuts that they they were too young to work. So, but that
Yeah.
So have you seen anything crazy? Have you seen it? Because this is
Oh,
what
we
I
got
heard.
in trouble for it. It was in the news.
In BC, this happened in BC as well.
Yeah, a company that I heard about.
Yes,
Better. Yeah. I got in trouble. You know, you toss a few sheep around, and next thing you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were acting a little crazy.
Yeah, they have a history of like. But here's the thing: the redeeming factor is like, oh no, they got in trouble for at a dairy. At a dairy, there's no government oversight, just a bunch of rednecks and cows. You know? But at a slaughterhouse, there's a government official there all the time.
The guy that blesses everything kosher, right?
Yeah, make sure like you can't be mucking around, can be walking a certain way, can be making they're very strict. So it's like it was just, it looks bad, but everything, on behalf of the meat industry, it's like they everything's on point over there. And it's very
I'm sure.
watched.
I'm sure.
But,
There's so much meat sold that if it wasn't, people would be getting sick all the time. Like there are other countries where it's not, and people get sick all the fucking time, right?
Indians do pretty good.
India?
They're a big part of them are vegetarian.
Yeah. Well, they just don't eat beef, right? Because that's
it's
part
sacred.
Of the sacred cow. Well, that's mostly because it makes the manure, and it's so much more useful to them as an alive animal than the
with
one
milk too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Huh, what do you know? Can I be a sacred animal?
Yeah,
Cats and
it just
dogs
takes
are
a lot
sacred
It takes
here.
a lot of time. Well, some places they eat them.
Yeah.
In China, and it's not. I'm not trying to be racist. No, I'm not trying to be racist or nothing, and I don't mean it as like. I mean, I would never eat a dog.
Hey, they
But-
said it.
They
it wasn't a lab. It was like we were eating, varmints.
Oh my god, the raccoon dog. Have you heard that? That's the newest COVID-19 kind of
Raccoon
strategy.
dog?
Yeah.
Are you just making up
Oh,
animals?
it's getting insane, man.
Flip
It's getting
flop,
insane.
flim flam. It's like
Yeah.
the horde flim flam.
They say that the gene or whatever, the virus, hopped from a pangolin to a raccoon dog, which is a dog that looks like a raccoon. It's really weird.
It's a dog that looks like her. Odd.
So it's like a raccoon, but it's kind of like so it's got a raccoon's head and kind of a cat's body, if that makes sense. But it's got.
Something like my 4-year-old draws.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
would.
that.
It looks like that. Yeah, it kind of looks like a raccoon head with the kind of the fat kind of square like cat body kind of thing, and it's got
it's a
like
dog?
And I guess it's a dog. I guess it's closer to a dog because raccoons are closer to dogs than.
That's like how many animals do they have to the mental gymnastics of getting so many animals to fuck to make COVID? It's like it couldn't be that you guys just held your breath in your biolab. That was their safety prevention measure.
That whole thing with Fauci. This is my theory.
Oh yeah.
This is my crazy theory, and I could be wrong, but this is what I think it is. They had to do some science, and they didn't want to pay as much money as they'd have to pay to do it in America.
Discount
So
science.
they did it. Yeah, so they did it in another country, and when you discount, when you're doing the most, dangerous science imaginable, with building an atomic bomb or building a virus that is catching. you don't want to go with the lowest bidder, but that's what they did. They went with the lowest
bidder.
Yeah, then and also where they could do it illegally because it is an illegal thing to do in America. What they were doing,
Yeah.
and so they were doing it in China because China was letting them do it illegally, and Fauci did it, and it's nuts. Like it is crazy.
Like having the Manhattan Project, but in Romania.
Well, that's kind of what they did, right? They were like, well, we can't build an atomic bomb here. Well, they just like when Russia got the atomic bomb, right?
Yeah.
When they were just like, well, we can't build it here, so someone figured it out and just brought it over, and then they made a couple atomic bombs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they did a couple detonations, but I don't know how. They were probably pretty successful because they literally just stole the tactics. But like, there's 600 nukes, they say. I think that's so crazy.
What they tested?
No, there's like 600 missing nuclear like Soviet nukes or something. Like the American ones are accounted for, I assume a little bit.
Sure.
But when the Soviet Union like broke down, like a bunch of nukes just disappeared, and it's so crazy that you haven't seen like one used at all. Like it must be that difficult, right? Like it's just
it's like a guy like heating up his like whatever. Just throw another uranium rod on the fire.
Yeah, you're using as much power to like break an atom, right? Isn't that what that's the force of you shattering an atom?
That's a fission.
Fission, and then fusion is the ones trying to put two atoms together. Yeah,
it's the sun. You know, it's like that's hey, let's make a sun on Earth.
I heard they were talking about trying to make a black hole on the Earth. With the the tube in
the large hadron collider.
Yes,
large hard-on collider.
Hard-on collider
for hard talk.
hard talks. The hadron collider in
France? No, Switzerland and France.
Switzerland. I think they moved it over, or maybe it's just
no. I think it goes over the border or something. I don't know.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Just like what I just regurgitate what Rogan says or what I hear.
Sometimes,
as
long as we're not talking about wolves, we're not close enough for that. Wolves and coyotes. I always noticed that Joe Rogan, whenever he just goes and starts talking about.
Yeah, or when somebody mentions fighting. It's like, it should be like a Rogan review. You should have a guy just reviews every episode. I think there are.
There are episodes, yeah. There are Rogan accompaniment episodes that like goes over.
That is so weird. That is so like, man.
People make millions of dollars or not millions, but probably thousands, by taking Rogan clips, putting it up on their YouTube channels, and just running that until they get shut down.
And then you just remake. What a wild world. That's crazy. I find that, gotta make a buck. It's having to go to work.
Yeah, work does suck. Work's starting to suck more and more every day. It really feels like it just feels like we're not, especially in Canada. This isn't a hot take at all, but our money is just being worth less and less, and visibly so. When a meal used to cost I don't know, for two people, $30, right? $15 each, and now it's $50 to $60 or $70 for just two people, and you're like, well, okay,
I'll just do intermittent fasting.
Yeah, I find that funny too. I feel the rich people go talk to us about intermittent fasting. Isn't that just telling, hey, poor people, you should just really stop eating?
Yeah, just stop eating.
Here's the problem. You just need to stop eating.
Yeah. What the hell was I? I was on something, and then you have a thought and just pops in
all the time,
and then
all the time.
Oh yeah, being poor. Yeah, it sucks. Being one thing that will make you want to go to work all the time is being married with children.
Yeah, that's sort of a motivator.
Oh yeah, it's like first poopy diaper you see, you're like, give a hand, but get the hell out. Go.
You want to abandon that's I'm
Well, no, my wife hasn't worked since 2018, which is an insane feat to accomplish. Like I bend over backwards to make that happen, and it's like, it's definitely a good motivator when you have screaming children. Just be like, oh, employee of the month. Look at this guy. First come, last to leave. That's how you get those people. It's
That's true. Or people that are having affairs on their wives. Those people also stay pretty late too.
Yeah, that's
the office romance and stuff. You're like, hey, why are you there so late? Oh, who knows? Oh, Gary, he's so nice. Back rubs all the time.
back rubs all the
And then
time.
fucking disappeared.
Yeah.
Why? So is that partially why you told me you were thinking about moving, or you are moving?
I am moving to Nova Scotia in
okay.
1 month.
In 1 month,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
are moving to Nova Scotia.
Yes.
Okay, that's a very broad. That's a broad statement. I mean, other than the month thing, that's pretty definite. But
Yeah.
where in Nova Scotia are you thinking about moving?
Going to a relative's house, staying there for like a year on Church Point, which is like southwest. Like Nova Scotia is like Canada's Florida. If you put like Canada's little wiener, and it's like the side facing Canada, not the side facing the Atlantic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we've got a little bit of.
Yeah, it's like nice. Lifestyle is different, and houses are like 5 times cheaper.
Oh, yeah, well, that's. I mean,
Yeah.
they're cheaper because there's not a lot of work. But I guess if you're an electrician, you're.
Like, you know.
So is there work there for? Do you have your job already?
No.
You're just gonna move there, and hopefully a slaughterhouse needs a Sparky boy.
Yeah, or anything, whatever. Like everyone says the same thing. It's like, not a lot of jobs there. It's like, I'm not looking for jobs. I'm looking for job. One. I just need to find one.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like or send my wife to do it, and I collect the whatever.
You can only collect EI for 6 months, so that's not. It doesn't last forever. Then you have to work 420 hours again to.
420.
Yeah, 400.
Why 420? That's
I know. I
that's
thought. I was like, whoever made that, it's not working.
Hitler's birthday.
What a rate. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why.
April 20th.
Yeah.
It's coming up. Are you getting your mustache ready? I know I am.
It's gonna be great. If anybody's down in Vancouver, come down to Sunset Beach. I'm gonna be working with Hydro Homies. We're gonna be bringing water to the people of 420. I've been down to 420. I mean, you don't have to. I'm taking a drink. I've been down to 420 for so many years, and I've realized that there's not enough water there. It's not. It's hard to get to. There's not a lot of food vendors. There's like a bunch of weed, but like if you just want a bottle of water,
Yeah.
you can't get it. So I'm gonna be going down there with Save the Whales, and we're gonna be
Which whales? All of them.
all of them, yeah. Like even the ones that
shitty
I'm gonna be
ones?
sending. I'm gonna be partial proceeds are gonna be going to Save the Whales. So that's
Ah.
part of what Hydro Homies is. It's not only making people hydrated, it's also going to save the whales, hopefully.
Whales, like any more? Do you guys prefer a whale over another?
I like orcas.
Yeah, it's.
I like
local.
orcas, kind of, and kind of gray whales.
Gray whales.
Yeah, the ones that have like the really huge, like flat, like head that they kind of pick up the squid. Like they live in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And they'll like grab the squid and they can change the kind of buoyancy inside so they can slam down to the ground. So they'll grab a squid and have it like on its face and slam down and kill it on the rocks and then eat it.
Come on, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And you give it the name of a gray whale. There's a sperm whale. The guy at least had to think hard. Or at least had to take a shot. It's like, sperm whale. But a gray whale, really? And it does basically, what was the tombstone of the Undertaker? Come on, you could name it the gray whale. Somebody, it was a Friday at 3 p.m., I bet. And you're like, yeah.
Maybe some guy named Mike Gray. Or like Frank Gray.
Frank
maybe it's a
Gray?
family name or something. I'm not sure. But There's you're gonna see so many whales when you move to Newfoundland. It's gonna be
nice.
You're gonna see humpback whales. You're
Nice.
gonna see lots of porpoise.
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 Oh, yeah.
Porpoise.
Dolphin?
Dolphins.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, dolphins, porpoises.
Porpoises? Alright.
Are you gonna
Porpoise
be,
or
Are you on the
porpoise?
water? Are you gonna be on the water? Or are you guys gonna be more inland on the?
Oh no, right by the water, which is cool. I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm flying in blind.
Yeah.
My in-laws said it's a good place. Looks nice. I'm like, all
And
right.
this is your wife's side.
Yeah. It's my wife's side. My parents are staying here. A little sad, but It's they left their parents to come here, and I gotta go somewhere. Like the immigrant gene,
You've got a wanderlust sort of.
Yeah, I want to find my ideal like life, and it's like I think I owe it to myself and the kids to search for that like thing. Leave my comfort. Leave my like. I have a skill. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure and people will have like the craziest comments about moving to Nova Scotia. Like, it's like, oh, it's cold over there. Like, I think I nailed that like 10,000 years ago when they figured out fire and fur. Like, I don't think I need to kill a woolly mammoth to be warm in Nova Scotia.
No, there's tons of moose though. You can kill one of those.
Yeah. And then I showed those people like house prices and like their jaw like drops.
So that's that's
a huge
You
incentive.
can live on the I could sell you a house for $1 on the sun, largest house you'll ever. Or I could say, but you are interested in just kind of getting a Vancouver or BC in general has just shocked your system. You want to move to the very other side of our country.
Yeah, it makes sense. We're maritime sort of people. Like, we love the water. Like, where am I going? Lethbridge? Like, I can't see myself being anywhere else but, like, near water. But, that's where the opportunity is. That's where I go. Worst case, Ontario, like, I just come back to BC.
That's true.
Like,
it's not that hard. I mean, even if you were able to buy a place there and live in it for a year, rent it out, you know what I mean? Then you'd have a legal property. Because it is, you'd probably be able to get a loan on something out there. I think it is heating up. That I heard... some of the larger towns are kind of filling up with people. Sort of.
Yeah, and we're going like smaller town, and it's like it's interesting. It'll fill up like young people are leaving.
For sure.
Yeah, we're all what? How much? Like down payment is what? Like my job is what? You do the math, and it's like there's not enough life to, pay it all off. So you gotta like just the future belongs to the brave or the ones that already have a house.
That's true. Yeah, if you bought in early and sold late.
Yeah.
Or I guess the market's kind of peaked.
I guess
like probably 2 years ago, I'd say was probably its peak.
Yeah.
My grandparents were looking at selling. Well, I don't know what they're doing because they're 91 years old, but they were.
I don't think they know what that is.
Right. They were looking at selling their house, and I think it was 1.2, and then by now it's like 800.
Yeah, that's
so it's gone
exactly.
down quite a bit. So I mean, there is hope, but I think it looks like we're leading towards a war right now. I think what do you think's happening right now? As someone who's from
the Ukraine stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Same shit that's been happening hundreds and hundreds of years. Like, everybody's fighting over Crimea. In the 1800s, there was a Crimean War, followed by a second Crimean War. And now it's like all about this. The Russians want Crimea, and the Ukrainians cut off water supply to Crimea, which is turning into a desert.
Oh, really?
The place of 2 million people, it's like, and the provinces that they're fighting over, coincidentally, encompass the river that supplies Crimea. And the Russians want Crimea because there's pockets of natural gas all around it. And you have that economic exclusion zone of any place you own, like 200 kilometers outside. So yeah, it's like the same stuff. Yeah, you live beside Russia, it's like, they're gonna do Russian things. And, like, let's say historically, like, I'm not supporting any side. This has been a beef that's been going on forever. But historically, from the point of view of Russian, Kiev was the seat of power of the Russian Empire. It's like, Europe is full of these 1,000-year-old beefs fighting over scraps of land and security, and like even in Romania, this is a part of a bit, but it's like here's the every European conflict in a nutshell. Especially Eastern Europe. Those people over there that look and sound just like us? Well, fuck those guys. This this is literally in Romania. It's like the people from that village are shit. We are the best. There used to be a Czechoslovakia. Now the worst thing you can call a Czech is a Slovak. You know?
Yeah.
That's
funny.
It's a Ukrainian conflict is just hot white people killing hot white people.
But you don't think that it's like I don't know. I don't feel like I think this either. I don't know what to believe from the news because you listen to one side and there's Nazis on our side. You listen to the other side and like, well, I mean, they're both kind of saying that there's Nazis on both sides. But I'm just wondering, like, if he takes Ukraine, like, you think he'll go for Poland? Do you think he'll keep going, or do you think he just wants that? Like, because that's a lot. That's water, right? He's going to be connected through the south to water, right? That's kind of the biggest reason why you want Ukraine. So
I don't know. It's Russia. Like I would say exercise caution when you're picking a fight with a country that spans 11 time zones. I would.
Their country is so. I've been watching some military stuff, and their country is so hard to defend because it's so flat for so much of it, which is so crazy. So they fight like on the tail end. Like Moscow is on like the most west side of Russia. Like it's funny. Like when you look at Russia on a map, like I don't know how Moscow knows what's going on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Like it's so huge.
That country is living literally in the future. Like, a guy calls you from Vladivostok and you're in Moscow and he's like, what time is it? And he's like, yesterday. It's I don't know. Like, the last time the Russians put their mind up to something, Berlin, the capital of Germany, ended up within its borders for 40 years. I would just be cautious. Like, just like, you have to, they deserve every right to defend themselves.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to... Have you ever seen that movie, The Road?
Yes.
I don't want to be in that. I don't want to have to, use a rope to tie up my pants and, live like a hobo.
That movie's so intense.
I can't.
That movie's so intense.
It's a movie you watch once, and
I watched it once and I was like,
no, I'm good.
It's insane. Yeah, I think that I hope it's over. I hope that's it really feels like a weird it feels like we were at peace for a moment before this started. Like Afghanistan kind of ended, and then for a moment it kind of there was peace on Earth, and then they're just like, oh well, gotta do this too, and it feels really weird. Like America, that's kind of their jam. Like when I see news about America sending them weapons, they helping them out and shit. Like of course they're doing that because that's what America does.
Clearing stock.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah,
half off.
Yeah. The most of the weapons that have been used on Americans were sold to them by Americans, which is kind of so. Most of Saddam's weapons that they used when before that were all American weapons that he bought from America or British weapons that he bought from Britain. So
he wasn't the cool guy anymore.
He wasn't paying dividends. He couldn't. Well, what was the? Oh, it's so interesting.
What was the deal? I don't even remember. He talked some smack.
Well, he lit the oil wells on fire, right? And then they turned them off, and it took them 6 months, and they thought it was going to take years and years and years and years and years, but they did it super quickly. A bunch of people went in there and just rock stars blew up bombs so they'd steal the oxygen away from the flaming.
The Russians did that with a nuke.
Really?
Yeah, they stuck it in a gas thing and detonated it and turned it to glass, sealed it shut. Because they had to do underground tests because above ground, setting the air on fire or something. That's wild.
I just finished a book, Michael Malice's The White Pill. And it's all about the history of the Soviet Union.
I heard about it.
It is. I don't know if I want to do a book club. Maybe I will do a book club because I do read. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I don't.
Why do we say we read?
I'm just gonna say audio read. I don't know.
Just like saying you're on the phone. I'm on the telephone.
Telephone. And so if he reads it, which is kind of cool, so you get to hear from his voice, and he's got kind of a fun, kind of comical voice. I mean, it's really serious stuff where he talks about kind of the history of the Soviet Union and kind of the thing that struck me was how like liberals in America were so jealous of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
When there was all these like fake towns that were in the Soviet Union that people were just like, oh yeah, see, they've got it right. Communists got it, when it was all just
For show.
just for show. And it's so crazy. The more history I read, the more things you see like that, and it just makes you more kind of crazy. Like that.
Yeah, I hear things, like, especially during the pandemic, I was hearing things that sounded familiar, like improper thoughts. You don't have faith. You know, the communism was a very deeply religious movement because one of the biggest accusations was that you did not have faith in the leader.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird. It's like a weird religion. Like, I wouldn't call it the government.
Romania, so your parents were part of that, right?
Their whole life, up
Yeah.
until 89.
And that's when Khrushchev. No, that was when
Boris
came.
No, that was Gorbachev.
Gorbachev. Okay.
Yeah, the guy with the stain.
Yeah.
Like, it's he ended it, and it was a weird time. Like, it went from like, I remember going to the store when we were communist, and it was like a giant department store, empty of things. There'd be like maybe a drum set when there should have been like 50.
Yeah.
Like maybe an old guitar. There was no stuff, but you were getting paid money, but there was nothing you could buy with money, which was weird. And then when the revolution happened, it switched. There was tons of stuff, but there was no money.
Oh.
Yeah. So now we're like, like my biggest pleasure in life back then is like when we get a pack of gum cigarettes.
Oh yeah, I remember the Popeye ones. Those we had the Popeye.
I don't know what we had, like
Yeah.
something like that, but yeah, that was like the big thing. And the other kids were like got into other stuff, heroin. That was popular, like really quick, like took us all by surprise. Like there was zombies all over the place. Like
Was that because of Afghanistan? Was that because the
borders opened?
Yeah.
So you don't have an immunity to like cultural immunity to like nobody's on crack during communism. There's no crack in communism.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's barely food.
Yeah.
It's like now all of a sudden there's like all these like lost like souls along the way. Like you could see them. There's like a corruption. Like we had tons of shit. I received like cable. Like could watch like the Flintstones. Married with Children was like the first show I've ever watched.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, dude.
I love Married with Children.
Dude, I had
Christina
a
Applegate?
No, not her.
Peggy?
I'm a Peggy guy.
Yeah, for sure. She was she was a little too young. And I'd say Kathy Siegel. Ooh, even now, even that voice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that voice, the big nose. I have a thing for like chicks with a big honker. Like just like I don't know, it just does. And Barbra Streisand, somehow hot back in the day.
Yeah, she was pretty hot back in the day. She was a communist. Speaking of communist, she was in a movie where she was a communist.
Oh, nice.
This was kind of where she was part of a communist group at school, and they were like bullying her. And in the movie, she like tries to prove that it's not, because it was so funny. Like the intelligentsia of America was pushing it forward that like this is they've got it under control, and they did. I mean, even the CIA, up until the very fall, thought that they had it going on. They thought.
Oh, dude, they were freaked out.
Yeah.
It took over Russia like overnight, and they felt like it was spreading everywhere. They had to burn like a couple 100,000 Japanese people to convince the Russians to not go any further than Germany. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A weird one, right? But that's basically what it was, It's like, we're gonna burn a bunch of Asians, and you're gonna behave.
Jesus.
Do you know for a period of 4 years, between 45 and 49, U.S. was the only country that had nuclear weapons? Oh, we could have ended it all.
Yeah.
Right there. The Russians were behind.
Yeah.
They caught up though.
Well, that's the scientists who part of the intelligentsia of America is thinking that communists were. I forget what the name, the Pudagra or what? Perestroika.
Yeah.
They it was part of like the kayfabe of like Soviet Russia, where people believed that they were doing so well that they wanted to bring the nuclear secrets to the people, so they brought them to Stalin. I think it was Stalin.
Yeah.
So they didn't actually figure out how to make an atomic bomb, but scientists that were communists in America brought them the.
There was a couple of famous spies.
Rosenberg.
Yeah, the Rosenbergs or
Yeah.
something. It's it's what you get. You take them in, and this is what they give you.
That's insane, though. Imagine this. That'd be a cool
Can you imagine?
kind of alternate history where
Yeah.
they never got the. You know what I mean? When America only had it, that would be weird. That'd be a
Yeah.
weird world.
Well, I'd be like within the first hour, they're like Moscow is gone, and like the Red Army's caught somewhere in the European plains, like with their pants down, and what happens? Like it's a high castle, banned in the high castle, but like weird. Like, what would the ramifications? You know, what happens to China then? Like, I love alternate history stuff, and they always have that where it's like, there's one. It's like. Yeah, there's one where there's a book. There's a few books that deal with that topic, and one of them is like a time traveler that goes back to like Hitler's village before he's born and fucks his mom. No. No, like puts a sterilizing agent in their village well, and Hitler's never born. So,
Wow.
yeah, I've been searching for that book for a while, like trying to find it. Anybody out there?
How would they like that would get rid of like at least 20 Best Picture Academy Award movies.
Oh yeah, they're gonna. But here's the scary thing that happens: somebody competent takes his job, and like scary, and they get a hold of the, like they get.
I think
wind
that's
of
funny,
that.
but I think the reason such bad things happened was because he was incompetent. You know what I mean? He made a lot of bad deals. If he wouldn't have made that deal with...
He'd say it's the Jews, but hey.
That was who he blamed it on. But then homosexuals and, disabled people and Polish people and, like, whatever, right? Like,
you're Polish, it's the same thing as being disabled.
Yeah, right? So it was in that track. But then he made pals with Mussolini, and Mussolini, like, screwed him. So I just finished, like, a 22-hour book called The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. And it's super interesting. And he's a horrible guy. It does not talk that much about the concentration camps. It just talks about kind of his role and how he did it.
Yeah.
And
he did some stuff.
Yeah, no, it was but
glazed over.
Well, he fucked himself because of the Ukraine. That's where most of his oil and gas were coming from, and then he fucked himself over on that, and then he attacked America when he shouldn't have, and then he opened up like 3 different fronts on his war. Like, there's no way that even if he kept going,
you beat France in a month. Of course, you're gonna be so jacked. I can do anything. You know, the First World War, they crawled back and forth of hundreds of thousands of people died with France. France was like, like they were tough fighters and stuff, and it's like, so now you do it in a month? Yeah, of course you can beat the Americans. You're like, how much methamphetamines do you need to, like, because they were on meth. Especially Hitler, because he was having Parkinson's and.
He had a bunch of shit. You see the video with him at the Olympics that they threw, and he's just like freaking out. Yeah. He's just shaking and biting his nails and stuff. He looks like, it could also be that he was losing a war. He's like, I feel so like, oh, what a great. Yeah, and then the fronts collapsed. Oh, how are they doing in the pole vault? What's going on? You can see
I get like that when it's like, a weird statement on the credit card, and I'm like, shit, do I gotta do this? You're losing a freaking war. Yeah.
But that's so the so your parents born in Romania. They were there. Where were they born? What? So in the 50s, right? Probably 50.
Yeah.
So they were around for like all of the Stalin stuff, or like for a lot of the Stalin
all the fun stuff. It was actually good when they were young.
Oh, really?
And then it's like the bill came in, and it's like, all right, like they were looking at solutions like what type of national diets should we have that don't include meat, because they were like rationing milk and bread. When I was like, my first memories in my life are those of like waking up in the dark alone, because my mom had to go stand in the bread line, and dad had to stand in like the fuel and cooking oil line, and it was a Romanian social event that happened daily or every other day, where people just stood, like, I'm talking like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You if you're late, you just don't get things
For that day.
Yeah, for that day, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
like.
You're rationing it every single day, so it's not like a month. Like I came back from Cuba, and you get like 5 eggs. They were giving people like 5 eggs for a month, a pound of rice for a month, and that was your like monthly.
That's like
ration.
breakfast.
I know.
Like you get baked and you like go crazy. I gotta clear the fridge.
Yeah, it's nothing, right? It's nothing. It was very interesting, like going to actually I've never been to Russia. Hopefully I'll go there one day, maybe when things settle down a little bit. But it was, and I mean, the longer I wait, the less communist it's gonna be. But I mean, coming from Cuba, which was another reason I want to have you on, because I kind of got a little bit of a taste from that. I was in Cuba
When
for
did you
16
go?
days. Just in January.
Oh, like
Yeah.
recently?
Yeah.
Oh, for like 2 weeks or something?
We went for 16 days.
That's cool.
We went to Havana, we went to Veradero, we went to Trinidad, and we went to the Bay of Pigs.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wanted to see the Bay of Pigs, and I didn't know, but Fidel has little nerdy glasses that he wore. He wore little hipster glasses when he fought the Americans off, or the Batistas.
Speaking of like memorabilia belonging to tyrants, I went to the Chilliwack gun show. I have never seen so much Nazi memorabilia. Like flags, like, fold inside, like people that their parents brought back from the war.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, but wasn't a good look. Like, everyone had like a Nazi knife, like, Pickelhaube, like helmet, or like, and there was like, I just caught at the corner of my eye, this like Japanese dude in full Japanese like getup, like with the backpack, with the thing, the hat with the things at the back, and a little gun bayonet, and I was just like, yeah, very Chilliwack, very interesting place.
I think it's just the Nazis just had such good marketing. That's what it is, right? Like they just had like they're horrible for every single thing they've done or every single thing they did, but their symbol unforgettable.
I haven't seen so many swastikas since I visited a Buddhist temple in Bali. Like,
they're the other way around. They're just flipped it.
Yeah.
So, but
just
I mean,
copied it.
He's also a copyright thief. But I think that Hitler. I don't know why people are so fucking into Hitler.
Well, we spent like last 20 years like pumping out History Channel documentaries for like, like whoa, check out the cool war, like
I think
these
World War
guys.
II is so like a big. It's such a big war because it's so the bad guys are so easily.
Yeah,
like,
jawohl!
Yeah, right.
Who, that's not a good guy. Sprechen.
Well, they literally had like skulls on their helmets. Like they were the best. Like they looked like the most evil. Like they looked like they were Skeletor's henchmen. You know what I mean? Like they were
exactly.
They're perfect.
Like you have Hugo Boss dressing you, you're gonna stand out. Okay,
They look
like
great.
yeah. It's like they gave us everything. If you think of jet planes,
Yeah.
most of the current technology, the bomb, all those scientists were like scooped up, like
Operation Paperclip.
yeah.
There
you go.
Yeah. Well. That's so. Yeah. A lot of the things. I heard that to counterbalance that in because I feel like we're promoting this. I'm Polish, so I don't think I'm allowed to.
Do what they did.
Yeah, don't do that, kids.
Don't do that, kids.
A lot of their technology that they had while they were like fighting the war was not very good, and that's kind of like first of all they brought their like leaders or their like higher ups onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
And they would die, like not far from the battlefield, and they kept dying. So their leadership just getting sopped up from bringing them way too close to bullets. So they're not that smart, right?
Yeah, it's a dynamic work environment with lots of opportunities for promotion. It sounds like my cover letter.
But we'll work outside.
But for example, another history trivia. 7 out of 8 German soldiers that died, 7 out of 8 of them did so in Russia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
we were fighting the 1/8.
Yeah.
1/8. Because the rest were like, dead.
Yeah.
And you find out it's like, oh, these are crazy people. Like, they don't think beer is water. they think beer is water. You know what I mean? They're a completely different type of people. I've seen them in my village. Like you can tell when someone's from the Russian steppe. Like when they drink, they get like crazy, and they're like they're blonde and their eyes are so crazy blue. Like that's fake.
Oh really?
Yeah, like bluer than yours. Like
Yeah.
they're just wild people. They're so like very. You could tell, especially up north, who came from that area.
Wow, really? And they're all blonde and blue-eyed and just insane.
Well, the history, like Russians are a mix of Slavs and Swedes. Like when there were Vikings, like Vikings made their way down the Russian rivers, the Volga and whatever, and went to Constantinople. And then they seeded those cities along the way, and Moscow was one of them. And and so they're like basically we're fighting Vikings right now. Like crazy, yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever was left. What kind of population could you have after reading The White Pill and finding out like how communism works and everything? Like, who's left? Like, who's left?
Russian women are hot though, so it's not that hard to bring
Well,
up
of course, because they made it, right? There's no way that even Stalin's black heart wouldn't kill a beautiful woman.
It was
right?
crazy. A book recommendation for everybody. It's called The Court of the Red Tsar.
Yeah?
Ooh,
What's
Stalin
it about?
was like the least crazy in his group. He hung out with a group of dudes like Khrushchev and like a bunch of henchmen, and every night they would get drunk and party, and he would get them drunk specifically because he thought when you drink, you kind of open up your mouth and talk to catch somebody talking shit about him, and he would just sit there and not drink or drink very little and watch his closest henchmen, behave.
Yeah.
And he would make some of them disappear, like close, loyal friends. It's an amazing book. Incredibly, the most vile, sadistic, alcoholic bunch of people I've ever seen.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's
Check the Court of the Red Tsar.
Yeah. It's
cool.
Kind of terrified me a little bit.
If you want to see a really awesome movie along the same lines, it's called The Death of Stalin.
Oh yeah.
It was so good. It has a bunch of Monty Python people in it. It has a bunch of they're mostly British actors, and it's just following right after Stalin died and it's hilarious.
The creepiest guy in the whole thing, even in the Court of the Red Tsar, that book, was that Beria.
Yeah.
Yevgeny Beria. He was so close to that guy was a sadist. We would have been turned to glass. But everyone else recognized he was so insane that they gave him a quick trial, kind of like they did with our leaders, Ceausescu, and during the revolution and his wife. There was no trial. There was they found him. In 30 minutes, they gave him a quick trial.
Okay, whoa. Okay, back up a little bit. Not everybody is as experienced with Romanian history here.
Okay,
So,
my bad.
Yeah,
I thought everyone knew.
They want to know. So what exactly happened? So how did Romania become a place? Do you know? How did it?
Okay. Well, originally it's from the root word of our country is Rome.
Yeah, which
So
is
Roman.
which makes sense.
Basically, our language is Latin. It's closer to Latin than I would say even Italian itself. So yeah, weirdly enough. So anyway, Romania became a place many years ago, and it's been crushed under different empires. We've been, slaves to this and serfs to that. What you got there, my lord?
Yeah.
Wearing those hats and living in mud huts. And then gained our independence around a little bit before World War One.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that.
So just as the Ottoman Empire was kind of falling apart.
Yes. So we're one of the countries that sort of came from under its shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
I bet.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, it was. They really stuck around, the Ottomans. They took Constantinople and then
They tried, but wasn't it? I think it was it was a couple diseases and then a couple crazy kings. I think it was kind of a mix of that.
mix. Poor management mixed with uncertain situations.
Yeah.
Kind of like the economy now.
Oh my God, the economy, who knows? They decided we're gonna up property tax like 10% or like 15%.
Yeah,
just
they'll
like
fix
these
it.
ungodly amounts. Like yeah, because the government. That's the problem. The government just needs more money. That's everybody. That's just pay more taxes.
You gotta maybe one day I want a vagina.
Right?
Yeah, I
Who
want
knows?
to be able
Maybe
to
you want
afford
both.
one. Yeah, maybe I want both. I get tired of my wife's and I want a new one.
Yeah, there you go. there was a couple that I think I heard about that on their 40th wedding anniversary. They switched.
They switched.
Yeah. So she got he
So he
used
got
some
a
of her-
non-functioning vagina and she got a non-functioning penis. So it was a sexless marriage, kind of like the previous.
I mean, after
39
you're married for
years.
40 years, I'm sure they're I don't know, mid-70s. I don't know. Maybe they just for shits
Yeah.
and giggles. Maybe they're just like really rich people and they just kind of went insane after a while.
So when are you getting married?
Huh? Oh, soon. I think soon. I mean, it's
Soon?
up to her. I did the engagement thing, so.
Oh, you got your work out of the way.
Yeah. So
The
I
wedding will
did
just
lose the-
happen.
Weddings for I'm kind of excited to get married. I don't know. It's
awesome.
Is it?
I love it. I like it because there's children, so
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, when we have
Yeah.
children, that'll probably. But we'll see what happens
That-
for the ad man down the road.
When we had our wedding, we eloped. Nobody was invited. It was cheap.
Yeah.
We went to Fernie and got married there. The most expensive thing was the photographer.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we got a photographer. We took some nice photos, and yeah, she was already pregnant, so she just like puked the whole time. And yeah, I had a great
So
time.
where did
though.
you guys meet? Where did you meet your wife?
At work. She was an electrician
The slaughterer?
apprentice. No, she's an electrician apprentice.
Oh no, she wasn't copying.
Yeah, I work in
a.
a cow slaughterhouse, and I met my wife, the cow. No, she's awesome. Love you, baby.
There you
Don't
go.
kill me.
There you go. No, that's so. So have you seen anything like you said? Everything is pretty above board with the slaughterhouse. I heard that guys that work in slaughterhouses they wear like chainmail
Yeah.
so they don't stab themselves or stab each other. What's
A
the
bit.
story of that?
Bit of both. Like, yeah, you protect yourself because you're moving pretty fast and people are moving around and everyone's got sharp objects and yeah, it's a crazy environment.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and those people do like what I call a holy job because if it wasn't for them doing it, and it's mostly immigrants. Like, nothing is blacker, than like, Vanta black.
Yeah.
it's
great.
Yeah, it's like full of like African dudes, like cool. Like there's several locations. One of them is like a Muslim location, so there's like you enter their cultural world. I don't know.
There's somewhat spiritual about it because they're causing so much death because they're.
Yeah, but they're also pros. Like these guys, like nobody will give a like. I like the beef industry because cows up until that like last few days were shitty. Everyone's last few days are shitty.
Yeah.
Big surprise, but they live in a pen there for like a few days before they get slaughtered. But before that, they're in like northern Alberta,
Oh.
just frolicking.
Yeah, just
Like living farmers will just bring. Yeah, I wouldn't feel good working at a chicken farm, but or a chicken factory or something because that's quite inhumane.
Yeah, they're in dark.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's
they're
crazy.
in darkness, and they don't get to walk, and then there's
And I feel like sheep too. They live a pretty good life. You can tell that they're like furs. They've been outside.
Yeah.
Like it's all scuffed up and like whatever. And it's like I feel good. But it's crazy. It's like you have to be like okay with seeing death like daily. Kind of like a yard doctor or something. But far less.
So
I can't use that.
what do they do at the facility? They just cut they get in a live animal and they're going from live animal to dead
Sausages. Yeah.
animal? So you're cleaning it, stripping it, all that happens.
I don't do any of
No,
that.
of course you
Yeah,
don't.
like,
Sorry, I mean you.
I watch people that work very hard, and I fix once things break.
So are you just there all the time? Are you just kind
There's
of?
many locations, so
Yeah.
I work like I like tomorrow I'm gonna be like in a few places because something broke.
Yeah.
Something always breaks,
There you go.
keeping me busy. Yeah, it's but I have to admit, it's I love that job. I'm gonna be sad to leave it to move to Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
I don't even know like what the stand-up's gonna be there. Like maybe I'll pick up woodworking. Who knows?
That's true. That's
Life
so
is-
exciting.
And I'm going with
Very-
children where it's like, okay, no safety net. Everyone better not.
I mean, how old your children are pretty
4
young.
and 2.
Yeah, you're good.
Am I?
I think it's fine. I think I moved around. I mean,
Let me call my wife right now. See, is it good? Like, one bit the dog.
No, but I mean, they aren't created. They're not created. Forever friendships. You know what I mean? Yet they have time. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. They're not like. I think kids are pretty good until you start ripping them out of school. Like
high school.
Yeah, or high school, or even middle school. If they're in grade like 6 or 5 or 4, and you're like, nope, you're coming and going to. I think that's a little bit harder, but I think they're at a good age now that it's not going to cause them.
I want them to like adapt constantly and say, I did it. I came here like in grade 9.
Yeah.
But luckily it's like, I had hair and blue eyes and I had an accent. White girls love it.
Yeah.
So I made friends quick.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I had a whole different life between arriving to Canada and here. Like I used to be a computer artist before for 7 years. I lived in Singapore.
Oh, okay.
I almost married.
What happened there?
I found
Do you
a
have
job.
any more details of so you were living in Canada and then you moved to Singapore?
So I was dating this crazy Romanian ex-stripper.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
a bit of damaged goods.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was kind of crazy, and I kind of was tired of the place, and I just wanted to change, and I took a job, and I left.
Yeah. Okay.
And
how did you did you train to be a computer?
yeah, I have a diploma in animation, art, and design. So that was like cool for a while, but it's a lot of work, a lot of sitting down. I was looking like a pudgy nerd.
Oh, really?
I look like a
like
pudgy dad. We're good. Yeah.
Who watches death all day?
yeah. No biggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's. I mean, a good time. I don't think Singapore is as fun. Well, I was thinking about actually. Sorry, not Singapore. I'm thinking of Hong Kong for some reason, but no, Singapore is. I've been to Singapore.
Have you?
It's nice. Yeah. When I was 9, turning 10, my parents took me to Southeast Asia for 6 months.
6 whole months.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Malaysia, Indonesia,
Yeah.
Singapore.
Yeah.
We stopped over in Taiwan, but yeah, it was Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, kind of,
Nice.
and then to Australia for a bit, and then back.
That is so cool. What took you there?
My dad just had a kind of a midlife crisis thingy.
He had a midlife crisis,
Yeah.
and you take the usually they leave the family and they
Yeah.
start something. That's cool. That's very big of him.
Yeah, I think he talked like he was going to start like an import-export business, but I don't know if that ever came to fruition. He was going to like import suits, kind of like they do with Chino now, but he was going to do that before, kind of. But I guess he works in the elevator industry, so he likes doing that. He makes
Yeah,
money.
that's a good job.
Yeah.
And when you know what you're doing, it's like pretty all right. That's cool. I'm so glad. 6 months. What was your favorite? What was
I
your
liked
most?
it was great. There were the people were the thing that I think I'm stumbling all over myself, but the thing that I'd say that I took away the most from it is that people are not different.
No.
Like anywhere, and that's the biggest. If there's one lie that I think we're told constantly is that the guy next door is different than the guy right in front of you. Because it really isn't. Like we let people don't know as much, right? Their education system is a little different, but like it just as a people, everybody kind of acts the same. We're all pretty much similar, and anybody that tells you any different is a liar. To be honest, like,
everyone scratches their ass in public.
right? Exactly. So that's kind of what and that's kind of what I noticed, and also that the countries, even in poverty or even third world countries, aren't that bad. You know,
Like,
what I mean? Even
yeah.
third world countries aren't that bad. Like
Yeah,
there's
food. They have like a shitty TV.
Yeah, you have food. You got a
Yeah.
place to. I mean, we were down in Cuba, and it may be a shitty country, but everybody's got a fucking house. Everybody's got a 3-roomed house to have children, and if they wanted to, I don't know. We stayed in places that had like 5 rooms. Like
not like us cool guys over here. Oh, hey.
I like my house snuggly. I don't like a lot of extra room.
Yeah, or it's like, and they build them here. By the time you finish paying it off, it's like time to tear it down. It's made out of popsicle sticks.
It's true, and glass. A lot of glass. A lot of shitty wood. They're building a place right across from here, and they've been working on it like through the winter.
Yeah.
Like, how good is that place gonna be when you've I don't know what about building, but yeah, exactly. So you're gonna have damage all throughout, and they don't care because for some reason our socialist government has turned tail and decided to become big buddies with any sort of corporation that want to do any business in
Money
Canada.
is nice. People like money.
Right?
That's why I go to work and look at animals dying all day long. I do it for money.
How much does someone get paid who does the slaughtering? Is it like a?
I'm not sure.
What would you say a year? Before taxes.
I wonder what they make an hour. Probably like $30 an hour or something like that.
They're raising federal minimum wage, $16.25.
$16.25.
Yeah,
Good luck finding someone to work here for $16.25. Have you seen prices of? Yeah, it's like, wow, I work an hour and I can get one bagel.
No, it's true. The price of living here is so crazy. It's so crazy that the city of Vancouver decided not to pay their workers. They had this big initiative that they were going to follow the cost of living in Vancouver and pay their. You can read an article about it. Look online, everybody. They were going to pay their workers the cost of living, but they decided that that's too much. So they're going to take the average of the last 5 years of the cost of living and give that out.
So like,
does that make any sense? Anyway?
Yeah, like you live in 2023, but we're going to give you before the pandemic 2020 wages.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
it'll be fine. It'll be
fine. Nothing's going to happen. Yeah, it's but you know what? People make do with less. And like me and my wife take joy in the simple things, like her, like like one of the best feelings is when I'm at home and everyone's asleep.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. Oh my God, you roll up a little dupe and it's like you're like, I could not picture a better like scenario. Of course, like seeing my children laugh and be but one day you all shut up and all go to bed. House is quiet and you're like there's like
you don't have to do anything.
I don't have to do anything and you're like I think I'm doing the right thing, and then you do crack. No, I'm joking. I just smoke pot.
There you go. Good, and I think that's a good. I think that felt like a nice.
My mouth is dry enough.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Is there any before we close out this wonderful podcast? Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
Do you have any social Instagram stuff?
No, I don't. I'm the comic who goes out of his way to not promote himself. I do this because for simply the love. I don't care to do anything with this, but I think that's probably the best way to go about it now. Because everyone's like, oh, like my thing, do my thing, oh, cool, don't forget to Twitter this, that. No. If you're lucky to see me, yeah, okay, if it's a good night, I'm sorry if it's a bad one. I don't care to promote myself, I just want to do my craft, and if you get good, you find work. That's how I am with electrician. That's, how I am with this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And for me, where everything is. All the Twitter, all the YouTube, everything. There'll be links to everything below, above, and everywhere else. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Please remember to be good to yourselves and each other.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Dude, that was awesome.
You